Hi guys, hope you're well. Hope you had a good week. We're back with the Action Bible again this week. Carrying on, we're going to be reading today from page 110. And if you remember, Jacob had some sons, and one of his sons, Joseph, was a bit boastful. So his brothers threw him in a well and sold him off to become a slaver. But he ended up becoming Pharaoh's right-hand man in Egypt. And there'd been a famine, and his brothers came and they didn't recognize him. And his brothers came to Egypt asking for food. And Joseph eventually told them that he was their brother and invited them all. So this big family, a big tribe of people came. All his brothers came, and his brothers had their families with them, and they probably had slaves with them. So they came with a lot of people, and they came and they stayed in Egypt. So for 17 years, Jacob, who was Joseph's dad, and his sons lived happily in Egypt. Then one day, a messenger brought news to Joseph. "Joseph, sir, your father is very ill. He wants you and your sons to come to him straight away." So Joseph and his brothers hurried to his bedside. "Bring your sons to me so I can bless them before I die. May God, who has guided me all of my life, bless my grandsons." Because of his wickedness to his older brothers, Jacob gives the family's birthright to Joseph and his sons. Remembering how he was the youngest, Jacob crosses his arms when he blesses Manasseh and Ephraim, then gives the largest share of the birthright to the younger Ephraim. Then Jacob calls all of his sons to him and blesses them. Jacob dies, and his family carry his body back to their homeland in Canaan. After Jacob's funeral, Joseph walked away from the camp alone, and his brothers watched him in grief. Even after all those years, Joseph was closest with our father, and we have no way to comfort him. "Joseph, you are the head of our tribe now. We will be your slaves if you wish." "No, no, no," he said. "You did evil, but God used it for good." If you remember last week, we spoke about how God has everything planned and sorted. Even when things go wrong and people do evil things, God's still in there. So for years, the sons of Jacob lived happily in Egypt. "And God has been good to us, more than we deserve," they said. "As long as I live, I'll thank God and seek his forgiveness." When Joseph was very old, he called his relatives to see him. "God will bring us out of this land to the land he gave to Abraham, to Isaac, and to our dad Jacob. When you return, take my body with you. I want to be buried in the land of my fathers." Soon after this, Joseph died, and all of Egypt mourned Joseph's death. But as new rulers came to the throne, they forgot how Joseph and his God had saved Egypt. They had only noticed how large this tribe of Hebrews had become. So the tribe of Hebrews were Joseph's brothers and their families, and Joseph's family. And this group were called the Hebrews, and they grew and they grew and they grew. And we'll find out in a bit that actually the other Egyptian rulers knew that they weren't Egyptians and got a bit jealous and a little bit worried about them and a little bit scared. I think they thought that the Hebrews might try to take over. So we'll find out next week what happened to the Hebrews, and then we'll find out about a guy called Moses, who was Pharaoh's son, but also a Hebrew, and we'll find out what happened to him. So have a good week at school. I think you're halfway through the term before we have half term. Hope it's going well for you guys, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Keep well. Bye.